This is Mamuni. Thank you so much for being Amar Baba.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to solve an adjusted trial balance problem. So let's get started. Chalo shuru kara jak. Let's go through the problem first. Adjusted trial balance. The following is the trial balance of Mrs. Sarkar as on 31st March 2022 has a number of errors. Please take into account the additional amendments so that a correct trial balance is prepared. The name of accounts are given here. The debit amounts are given here. The credit amounts are given here. This is the total. And what are the adjustments? Let's see. The additional amendments means adjustments are follows. Number one, a further rupees 9,000 for additional capital was paid in, but the amount was not posted anywhere. Number two, the debtors was undercursed by rupees 9,000. That means we will not write additional capital because we got to adjust first, then we'll write the final amount. And the debtors also, first we'll adjust debtors, then we'll write the final amount of debtors. Okay. So let's do the problem. Always remember, যেখানে অ্যাডজাস্টমেন্টস আছে সেগুলো আমরা লিখব না। ট্রায়াল ব্যালেন্সে যেই অ্যামাউন্টগুলো আছে সেগুলো আমরা লিখব না। ট্রায়াল ব্যালেন্স মিন্স আনঅ্যাডজাস্টেড ট্রায়াল ব্যালেন্স। দিস ইজ অ্যান আনঅ্যাডজাস্টেড ট্রায়াল ব্যালেন্স। সো ওই অ্যামাউন্টগুলো আমরা লিখব না। যেখানে ডেটার্স আন্ডারকাস্ট ওই অ্যামাউন্ট আমরা লিখব না। দেন অ্যাডিশনাল ক্যাপিটাল আমরা লিখব না। ফার্স্ট আমাদের অ্যাডজাস্টমেন্ট করতে হবে, দেন উইল রাইট দ্য ফাইনাল অ্যামাউন্ট. Okay, what is adjusted trial balance? As we all know, a trial balance is a list of closing balances of ledger account on a particular point of time, whereas adjusted trial balance is a list of general account and their balances at a point of time after the adjusting entries have been posted. Now, what is the difference? Always remember, a trial balance is prepared first, whereas adjusted trial balance is prepared post trial balance. Why? Because unadjusted trial balance or normal trial balance এ কি হয়, কোনো adjusting entries থাকে না। তো unadjusted trial balance এ বা normal trial balance এ কোনো adjusted entries থাকে না। But adjusted trial balance এ first we have to adjust the entries. Understood? We have to rectify. Then we can prepare the adjusted trial balance. Okay, normal trial balance or unadjusted trial balance এ কোনো additional information or additional entries থাকে না, তাই আমাদের কখনো rectify করতে হয় না, জাস্ট আমরা অ্যামাউন্টগুলো পোস্ট করে দিই। কিন্তু adjusted trial balance এ কি হয়, additional information থাকে বা additional entries থাকে যেগুলো আমাদেরকে rectify করতে হবে। Understood? So let's do it. আমরা কি দেখলাম? নাম্বার ওয়ান, একটা হলো অ্যাডিশনাল ক্যাপিটাল আমরা লিখতে পারবো না, আগে অ্যাডজাস্ট করব তারপরে ফাইনাল অ্যামাউন্ট লিখব। আরেকটা ডেটার্স আমরা লিখব না, আগে অ্যাডজাস্ট করব তারপরে আমরা ফাইনাল অ্যামাউন্ট লিখব। ওকে, নো লেটস স্টার্ট দ্য প্রবলেম। দ্য ফার্স্ট অ্যাকাউন্ট ইজ পারচেসেস 25,000 অ্যান্ড সেলস 46,000। ওকে, সো পারচেসেস অ্যান্ড সেলসে কোনো অ্যাডিশনাল ইনফরমেশন নেই, তো we will write straight away in the debit column purchases and sales in the credit column. Okay, so let's write a purchases or a debit column e likheche which is correct, and sales also or a credit column e likheche which is correct. Okay, so purchases and sales. Purchases how much? 25,000 and sells 46,000. Okay. Now why purchases is a debit balance? Because purchases comes under real account as well as nominal account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. Where here, when goods are purchased, goods come into the business. So purchases account will be debited. According to nominal account, when goods are purchased, money goes out. So purchases is an expense, because according to nominal account all losses and expenses debit. So purchases account will be debited. According to real account as well as according to nominal account, purchases will be debit anyway. Okay, why sales is credit? Because sales account falls under real account as well as nominal account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. Here, when goods are sold, goods go out from the business. So sales account will be credited. According to nominal account, all incomes and gains credit. Here, when goods are sold, money comes in. So sales account is an income. So sales account will be credited. Understood? In this problem, purchases they have debited, sales they have credited, which is totally perfect. Both are correct. Both are correctly written. Okay? So now let's see the next account. Cash account 60,000, which is correct also. Cash account is a debit balance. Why cash account is a debit balance? Because cash account falls under real account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. Here, from the business point of view, cash comes into the business. So cash account will be debited. So they have correctly written cash account, nothing to rectify. Okay. So let's write cash 60,000. Okay. Cash 60,000. Let's see the next account. The next account is debtors 15,000, creditors 10,000. Debtors is a debit balance and they have correctly written in the debit column. Creditors is a credit balance and they've correctly written in the credit column. So nothing to rectify. So let's write debtors and creditors 15,000 and 10,000. But here we'll have to see the adjustment in case of debtors, and that is the reason we'll have to write in bracket. Debtors 15,000 and creditors is perfectly all right because there is no adjustment or additional information. So let's see the additional information regarding debtors. What is the second additional information? The debtors was undercursed by 9,000. It means 9,000 was written less. So debtors 9,000 comma আছে আমাদের কি করতে হবে plus 9,000. Understood? So আমাদের কি করতে হবে we'll add 9,000 with debtors. So debtors এ 9,000 comma আছে so plus 9,000. Okay. So previously how much was the debtors? Debtors was 15,000 plus 9,000. Okay. So let's write. So 15,000 plus 9,000. That means 24,000 is debtors. Because 9,000 ওরা কম লিখেছিল ভুল করে তো সেটা আমাদের rectify করতে হলো. Understood? Now we can write the final amount 24,000. যেখানেই additional information থাকবে সেখানে আমাদের ব্র্যাকেটে আগে অ্যাডজাস্ট করে নিতে হবে তারপর আমরা ফাইনাল অ্যামাউন্ট লিখব. Understood? আর ক্রেডিটার্সে কোনো অ্যাডিশনাল ইনফরমেশন নেই. দ্যাট ইজ দ্য রিজন উই ডোন্ট হ্যাভ টু রেক্টিফাই এনিথিং. আন্ডারস্টুড? Debtors is a debit balance because debtors falls under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. So debtors account will be debited. This why creditors account is credit because creditors account falls under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. So creditors account will be credited. Okay. Now let's see the next account. The next account is capital 45,000. Cash for additional capital has been written wrongly in the debit column. It has to be rectified and for that we have to write a short note. And here capital will be 45,000 plus 4,000. তাছাড়াও একটা additional adjustment আছে. Let's see. See, additional amendments are as follows. Number 1, a further 9,000 for additional capital was paid, but the amount was not posted anywhere. So, capital কি লিখতে হবে 45,000 প্লাস যেটা ডেবিট কলামে ভুল করে লিখেছে সেটা প্লাস 9,000. So let's write. See, originally capital was written 45,000 plus additional capital এনেছে 4,000. But additional capital was written wrongly in the debit column. So we have to write 45,000 plus 4,000 plus additional capital যেটা রেকর্ড করা হয়নি বা পোস্ট করা হয়নি কোথাও. Okay? So let's write. Let's rectify capital. So capital ক্যাপিটাল এখানে অ্যাডিশনাল অ্যাডজাস্টমেন্ট থাকবে, ওখানে আমরা ব্র্যাকেটে আগে লিখে নেব। ক্যাপিটাল ওয়াজ 45,000 initially plus additional capital which was written wrongly in the debit column 4,000 plus additional adjustments 9,000 যেটা কোথাও পোস্ট করা হয়নি। সো আমাদের ক্যাপিটাল কত আসছে 45,000 plus 4,000 plus 9,000 is equal to, so the total is 58,000. Why capital is a credit balance? Because capital falls under personal account. According to the personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here, the proprietor is the giver of the capital. So, capital account will be credited. আমি আরেকবার বলছি, see, capital was initially 45,000 and then additional capital 4,000, which should have been in the credit column, but by mistake they have written in the debit column. So 45,000 plus 4,000 and additional adjustments, which is 9,000 for additional capital was paid also, but the amount was not posted. So 45,000 plus 4,000 plus 9,000. So total capital brought into the business will be 58,000. 45,000 plus 4,000 plus 9,000. 58,000. Now one more thing. Capital A 4,000 was wrongly written in the debit column. For that, we have to write a note. Okay? How will we write a note? Let me show you. Below the trial balance, you have to write reasons are as follows. We'll have to write a short note for the errors. Reasons are as follows. Number 1, additional capital. Additional capital comes under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here, the proprietor is the giver of the benefit for additional capital. So, additional capital will be credited. Understood? So, like this, you have to write a short note. Let's see the next account. Capital we did, cash for additional capital also done. Discount allowed. Discount allowed 1,000 is written in the debit column, which is correct. So, let's write discount allowed. Discount allowed. Discount allowed is 1,000. Why discount allowed is a debit balance? Because discount allowed comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, discount allowed is a loss from the business point of view. So, discount allowed will be debited. Understood? Let's see the next account. আমরা ডিসকাউন্ট অ্যালাউডে কোনো নোট লিখলাম না কেন? বিকজ দে হ্যাভ রিটেন কারেক্টলি ইন দ্য ডেবিট কলাম। যেখানে ওরা ভুল লিখবে সেখানে আমরা নোট লিখব। আন্ডারস্টুড? লেটস সি দ্য নেক্সট অ্যাকাউন্ট। Depreciation 2,500. Depreciation is a debit balance and they have made a mistake by writing in the credit column. So let's write depreciation in the debit column as well as let's write a note for depreciation wrongly written in the credit column. Understood? Let's write depreciation. Depreciation is a debit balance but they have written wrongly in the credit column. What is the amount? 2,500. Since they have written wrongly in the credit column, we have to write a note. Why depreciation is a debit balance? Because depreciation comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, depreciation is a loss for the business. So, depreciation account will be debited. Understood? Now, we have to write a note. Let's see what we'll have to write. Number 2, depreciation comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses are debit. Here, depreciation is a loss for the business. So, depreciation account will be debited in the trial balance. Okay? So, let's see the next account. The next account is bad debts. Bad debts is a debit balance, but they have written wrongly in the credit column, 3,500. So, we'll have to write in the debit column. Since they have written wrongly in the credit column, we have to rectify it by writing a note and by writing bad debts in the debit column. Okay? যেখানে ওরা অ্যামাউন্টগুলো রংলি ক্রেডিট কলামেরটা ডেবিট কলামে লিখবে বা ডেবিট কলামেরটা ক্রেডিট কলামে লিখবে, সেখানে আমাদের কি করতে হবে? আমাদের অ্যামাউন্টটা ডেবিট কলামে যদি হয় সেটা ক্রেডিট কলামে না লিখে ডেবিট কলামে লিখতে হবে, রেকটিফাই করতে হবে। প্লাস কেন আমি ডেবিট কলামে লিখছি তার জন্য আমাকে একটা শর্ট নোট লিখতে হবে। আন্ডারস্টুড? সো we have to write a short note for bad debts as well, and we have to write bad debts 3,500 in the debit column since bad debts is a debit balance. Understood? Let's write bad debts. Bad debts is a debit balance 3,500. Why bad debts is a debit balance? Because bad debts comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, bad debts is a loss. What is bad debts? When a proprietor sold goods on credit to a customer, but the proprietor cannot recover the amount from the customer due to insolvency. So, he is not in a position to pay back. So, that is a loss for the business. So, bad debts is a loss. So, bad debts will be debited since bad debts falls under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. So, let's see the reason also. We have to write a short note also why we have written bad debts in the debit column and they have written in the credit column wrongly. Okay. Number 3. Bad debts comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses are debit. Here, bad debts is a loss for the business. So, bad debts account will be debited in the trial balance. Now, let's see the last account. The last account is rent received, 2,000. Rent received is a credit balance, but they have wrongly written in the debit column. So, we have to rectify and we have to write rent received in the credit column. And since they have written wrongly, we have to add a note below the trial balance. Okay, let's write rent received. Rent received is a credit balance. They have wrongly written in the debit column but will rectify and write the amount in the credit column. Why is rent received credit? Because rent received comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all incomes and gains credit. Here, rent received is an income. So, rent received will be credited. Understood? Now, let's see how we have to write the short note for rent received because we have to rectify. Rent received comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all incomes and gains are credit. Here, rent received is an income for the business. So, rent received will be credited in the trial balance. Okay. This is the short note you have to add below the trial balance. Okay. Now, let's calculate the total of debit column and the credit column as well. Okay. The total of debit column is 1,16,000 and the total of credit column is also 1,16,000. So, the total of debit column is equal to the total of credit column. So, the trial balance did tally since the total of debit column is equal to the total of credit column. Understood? I hope you understood. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your precious time. I hope this was helpful. I sincerely hope this was helpful. And I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, happy practicing adjusted trial balance. Bye-bye. Take care. Stay safe and stay blessed always.